Most people are sitting back waiting to see how AI is going to change their job, how it's going to affect them. What I'm going to show you today is how to use the current AI tools to automate a boring task you probably already do if you work in program management or in auditing government programs or reviewing government programs. In this video, I'm going to use the Codex AI coding agent to turn a folder of cost report spreadsheets into a clean database, into a clean Excel export in just a few minutes. You're going to fully control this tool that it's going to build. You can reuse it, adjust it as needed, and it's a really impressive use of AI tools. The specific workflow I'm going to automate is one I've done a million times, and it's illustrated here. It's super common in government programs to have templates that are filled out by districts or local governments or organizations. They have to submit to the state because they need to begin a reimbursement process, or they need it for analysis, or you need it for some kind of reporting purposes. You see this everywhere. Also, I've only ever seen this process done manually, usually by a low-paid employee who would spend up to a week opening up each spreadsheet, copying and pasting the data over and over. And by the end of this video, I'm going to share this simple pattern you can copy for your own situation. You'll be able to point it at your files, let it write the code, and then you can keep that code to use in a different environment however you see fit. For this data, I'm going to be using synthetic spreadsheets that mirror the real cost reports that I've seen before. Same kind of layout, but fake names, fake salary numbers. And that is the model I'm really going to stress throughout these videos, is design the tools with fake data, so you never have to provide it addresses, names, salaries as you're building the tool. But once it works, you can take that code and run it anywhere you want to without any AI involvement. So here's the setup I'm using. I have this folder named Program Management. That Program Management folder has another folder in it called Extract Data. That's for our current experiment. That folder has a README, which you can see on the GitHub link, and it just has more detailed steps of getting everything configured and running this experiment. The real important part here is what is in this test data folder. This has 6 different spreadsheets with data on 2 different tabs. It's some identifying information about the district, and then it's the detailed salary information along with fringe benefits and some funding percentages. So very standard, very simple. The one important thing to know is that all the spreadsheets have the same layout and setup. They might have different numbers of people in them, but they're all kind of set up. They start at the same spot. And that's really the important part for this. So in the past, what I would see is someone would have to come in here, highlight this table, copy and paste it to a new spreadsheet, and they would do that over and over and over, maybe up to 500 times, depending on how big the program is. But with this task, we're going to automate all of that. I'm going to show you the tools I'm going to use. One of the main ones here is the VS Code tool. This is a Microsoft product. It's free. It's easy to set up. Once you have it set up, all you have to do is come to File, Open Folder, navigate to the Program Management folder wherever you've created it, and open that up. The next tool that I'm going to use is called the Terminal. You can see that here. It's this little black box here. I'll make it bigger, but this is where the Codex application is going to run. This is what allows it to read the files in the folder that we have, and this is what it's going to allow it to plan the best approach for extracting the data. The first thing we need to do is we need to navigate to the correct folder. So we need to navigate to the program management folder. We do that with the cd command, so cd, and then this file location is going to change depending on wherever you saved it. So now you can see I'm in the project management folder and I'm ready to start Codex. You do that just by typing Codex, and you can see here in a different video I'm going to go through what some of these controls mean, but this video is really just to show how powerful this is. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put in the prompt that I already wrote here. I'm going to highlight our prompt here. I'm going to go back to Codex, and I'm going to paste it in here. I'm going to hit enter, and you can see Codex is already coming up with a plan. So, okay, so that was quick. So it came up with a plan. It wants to review the files. It wants to create the data schema, implement the extraction script. So what we're going to do is I'm going to approve the plan. And say, please implement. So you can see what it's doing here is it's starting by exploring the files we already have in that file, and it started with the first one, and you can see it determined there's an input data tab, and now it's just working through its plan. Alright, so I wanted to check in on its progress, and you can see here with all of this green code, the green code means it has created something. So you can see here it created a new extract Python file, and that was 220 lines of code. You can see it's checked off another item on its list, and it is moving on to the next step. And see, what you can see here is now it has edited its own files. The red means it has deleted something it wrote, and the green means that it has written something else in its place. So you can see what it's doing is it's testing its different approaches that it comes up with a plan for, and if that approach doesn't work, it's able to adjust the plan based on that output. All right, looks like it's finished. And so I'm going to walk through some of the output here. We see it gave us a Python file to extract, to compile, and to export the data all in one file. And it also gave us the SQLite database and this CSV file. It also documented how to run this file in a different folder. So, and we'll walk through that as well. But it just kind of tells you what it implemented. It provides the outputs of it running its generation process, and also it tells us how to test it. And that's basically what it's suggesting here. So I'm going to walk through the file. This is the extract cost reports Python file. You can see it starts out by creating the SQL schema, so the database schema that it's going to extract for us. It has a process to find the reports, to process the metadata. It has two functions here. One is to kind of normalize the number. The second one is to normalize our percentage or fraction here. There's a process to open up each file and parse the salary rows on the salaries tab. And there's a function here to load the records, to create the database, to export, and these down here are kind of the main orchestration functions. So here is the CSV file it created for us. You can see it has our headers that we had in our original spreadsheets. It has all of our 6 districts, and I checked these numbers and they are accurate. So this is a really impressive output for just 2 minutes of work in one prompt. This is something that I think is really useful and valuable for these kind of situations. Here's the run file. This is what the file that it created to tell us how to run it in other notebooks. And I'll show you that right now. So what I did is, we've been working in this extracted data folder. I created a test folder that is just that extract Python file it created for us and the test data. And so you can see that file it shows up in VS Code automatically. And so you can see in here it has our spreadsheets, it has our Excel spreadsheets, and it has our Python file. And so let's read our run file here. So it's telling us here to go to the extract data folder, but we are going to run this in a test folder. So what I did is I ran, you can see here, I ran this function earlier, cd extract data test folder. That's where we're going to run our test. And then it says the next step is to execute the extraction. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to run it. And the summary here says it loaded 24 salary rows from 6 workbooks, which is exactly what we wanted. We have the compiled CSV here, which is exactly, I did check this one, but I'm assuming that it created it accurately. So let's just take a second here to think about what we created. We have now a file that will extract all of the salaries accurately, and we can bring it to any other folder we need to. And all we have to do is run it in VS Code, and that data will be extracted in seconds. And we don't need any AI involvement for that. So we don't need Codex to do that for us. And so this is a good opportunity to talk about one thing. So if you open up one of these files, one thing you might have noticed is that it did not extract the contact name. So basically this was meant to be who fills it out, who can we go back to for questions. And let's say we also wanted that. And so at this point in our implementation, this does not exist. This is a new process we have to create. And so this is a good opportunity to show how you can go back and forth with Codex to get exactly what you're looking for. So I'm going to tell Codex basically that I want to add an extraction for the contact information from each report. So what I've asked it here is to create a similar extract process for the contact information that's in the spreadsheets. So when it runs this, when it looks at this prompt, it knows it already created an extract. It knows the structure of the files. So it's not going to take very much more time for it to create a new extract for us. Okay, it looks like it's finished implementing changes based on our new request that to extract the contact information from each spreadsheet. It looks like it took 1 minute to implement these changes. And what it says here is that it extended our current file to extract this data from our input tab and added it to the database and to the CSV file. It also updated the outputs of the database and the CSV file. Let's go ahead and check that out. You can see here, this is a new file called contact info. It has the district name, it has the year end, and then the contact information, the position, and the email address. And it also included the file name for us. I know just by glancing at these that this is accurate. One thing I wanted to point out is that if someday you wanted to have like this extract process be part of a larger program management app, and that had a user interface that said, extract folders, and you could point it to a folder of files you wanted to extract, and it would do all of this stuff automatically. This is the file that would be running in the background, that extract file. And let's take a second to think about what we've created. We started with just a folder of cost reports that I filled out on my own as a fake data. And after a few minutes of working with Codex, we have a process to extract, compile, and export that data with a Python script. We also have the end result of that extraction, the CSV file and the database, that we can use however we need to down the road. We could run it securely. I showed you how to take this to a new folder and run the process without any involvement from AI. And we can also build on this if we want to. If you wanted to have a more sophisticated reporting process to say, what was loaded. And it's just a really powerful idea that this can be kind of a foundation for a set of tools that can be used by auditors and program managers to just do their normal work faster. And I'll be doing exactly that in a bunch of videos coming up, just to kind of show how capable Codex is and how, if you really want to get ahead using AI tools, this is a really powerful way to do that. So follow along. Let me know if you have any questions about anything as I go along. Thank you for watching.